Hello everyone, myself Sujishmita Mukherjee, and today I will be explain about a basic of fertilization as well as the main of double fertilization. So before moving to the main portion of our tagline, I must brief about myself and introducing myself. Hi, it's Sujishmita Mukherjee, and I have completed my BSc as well as MSc in biotechnology, and now I am opening a YouTube channel which will be helpful for the life science students who are pursuing 11, 12 as well as UG and PG, and this will be helpful for developing your basic of life science of certain subjects. Thank you so much, and let's begin. So now fertilization. Before moving through double fertilization and the concept of double fertilization, I must brief about the concept of fertilization, how fertilization occurs and what are the steps of fertilization in flowering plants. So fertilization is nothing but a union of male and female gamete to produce zygote. And now question can be possible that how the fertilization take place. That is, it is a very straightforward answer to that is fertilization is important for both animals as well as plants. It is also possible in angiosperms and gymnosperms, and it possible in the basic four steps. The four steps are pollination, germination, penetration of the ovule, and fertilization. In pollination step, you can see in the right hand side diagram, the male gamete which is carried out by any other pollinating agent is deposited onto the plant stigma, which is a part of pistil. And then the pollen tube begin to grow and germinate towards egg cell. This tube is nothing but a path where a sperm carried by the pollen to reach the egg. The pollen tube got penetrate the ovule which contains female gamete, and then fertilization take place, which is given in this where the pollen is reaches onto the uh, egg cell to the formation of fertilization and this is the basic of fertilization, and I must explain bit more details about fertilization in next slide. To ensure the details about the fertilization of flower, we must know that fertilization of flower having more step which has been discussed in the previous slide, that it has a four steps present, but it has many other steps are there to make a detailed view of fertilization. So number one step comes with initiation where anthesis occurs. Anthesis is not only the initiation step, it is also a most important step where the opening of a flower bud to initiate pollination take place. This is the opening of a flower bud and this will initiate the pollination further. Then in the step 2, the pollination will take place where the male gamete which is carried out by the insect or any other pollinating agents. Here the insect is there, so we will say about the insect pollination deposit onto the plant stigma which is a part of pistil, and then this pollen tube begin to germinate in a pollen tube germination step in step number 3 where the germinating towards the egg cell, and as you can see this pollen tube is nothing but a path where sperm carried out by the pollen to reach the egg. Then the penetration into the embryo sac will form where the pollen tube penetrate the ovule which contain female gamete, and then the fertilization take place to form a zygote. This zygote is a diploid zygote. 2n number of chromosome is present because the one egg cell and another male egg cell and one female egg cell, 1 and 1 to form 2n number of chromosome. 2n number of zygote will form, which is a diploid zygote will form. Then the embryogenesis take place. Then the seed formation take place. Then the seed got germinated, and then the entire mature sporozoid plant will form. This is the entire and the brief concept of fertilization of flower. And before moving to the double fertilization, I must brief about that double fertilization occurs only in angiosperms, and because this double fertilization, both polar nuclei or the embryonic sac are got fertilized as a result of double fertilization event. As I have mentioned earlier that the zygote is always diploid because the joining of the two haploid 1 and 1 will form a 2n number of chromosome, and that is a diploid set of chromosome, diploid zygote. It is a syngamy during fertilization. But in case of double fertilization, what happens? It is little bit different in case of double fertilization. In double fertilization, it happens in angiosperms where the haploid male gamete combined with two haploid polar nuclei. Need to mention that one. The male gamete combines with two haploid polar nuclei to form a triploid, not diploid. In case triploid primary endosperm nucleus by the process of vegetative fertilization. This is also called double fertilization. It is a very unique flowering plant process of fertilization. It involves joining of female gametophyte with a two male gamete. This is a form of triploid endosperm nucleus and also called triploid triple fusion. As in the right hand side diagram, you can see the normal one and another one is the double fertilized one. In the normal one, you can see the one male gamete fuses with the egg nucleus to form a diploid zygote, the normal case. And in this case, one male gamete fuses with the two polar nuclei to form a triploid endosperm nuclei. In this case, the triploid endosperm nuclei production causes double fertilization. The event of double fertilization is much different from that of a simple fertilization. In double fertilization, after the pollen is deposited onto the stigma, it must germinate and grow through the style to reach the ovule. The pollen contains two cells, one generative cells and one is tube cell. The tube cell grows into the style and the generative cell travels inside the pollen tube, and you can see that this pollen tube got divided to form a two sperms. As a result, when the pollen tube penetrates an opening in the ovule that is called microptyle, one sperm fertilizes with the egg to form a diploid zygote. In this picture, in this one, other sperm fertilizes to form a polar nuclei, form a triploid endosperm. You can see in this also in the middle one forms polar nuclei to form a triploid endosperm, which will become a food source for the growing embryo. So since the endosperm is a product of the fusion of three haploid nuclei, that is called triple fusion. That's why the double fertilization event is also termed as a triple fusion event. Once the fertilization is completed, the embryonic development starts and no more sperm can enter into the ovary. The fertilization ovule develops into a seed and ovary tissue develop into a fresh fruit which has a seed. Now, let me discuss about some significant role of double fertilization. There are many significant role of double fertilization possible, but I have mentioned some main or important role of double fertilization. It provides stimulus to the plant for the production of fruit. The zygote that develop into embryo give rise to a new plant. the chances of polyembryony due to the triple fusion, and the plant has more chances to survive. Hence, it increases the viability of the seed, and also it provides development and nourishment of the embryo. So after the all basic confirmation about the double fertilization and the significant role of double fertilization, there are many questions that can lead to arise about double fertilization. And the main question and the majority question is that why double fertilization can possible only in angiosperm, not in gymnosperm. So here is the answer of it. In gymnosperm, the pollination occurred with the help of wind that blows the pollen and land onto the stigma. But during double fertilization requires male-female gamete within a cone. That is possible only in angiosperm gametophyte formation. So that's why in gymnosperm, double fertilization cannot take place. I hope now the concept of double fertilization as well as fertilization is clear in your mind. If you like my teaching pattern, please do like and share with your friends, and do subscribe my channel for more interesting biological terms and the subjects and the explanations. Be safe and be bio. Thank you so much.